town housing or layout planning project. So this is an interesting part where most of the civil engineers work under this area. For all the construction work, an architect will be knowing about this town planning, and if you are a drafter, you should be knowing all the guideline which is given under the corporation where or the municipality where you are constructing your house. And if you want to construct a house, there should be a plot, there should be a land in order to construct a house. So those land has to be approved by local government. So there are many points which has to be understood in order to proceed to construct a house. So house is not only the essential part which is required. There are other auxiliary and essential needs which has to be satisfied in order to live in a place. So let us look into this. So now we will be looking up how we will be looking out layout planning. So how to plan a layout. So the government will be giving the authority, they will be scrutinizing and approving this layout. So as a civil engineer, you should know that the following points, and after knowing that how to plan a layout. So let us look into this module. So here there are certain works has to be followed in order to plan a layout. First, recognition survey for selection of site and conceptualization of a project is required. So this is required for all the type of project when you are doing a survey. And second thing is detailed survey of the project like contour survey. So the contour gives the relative points between the distance is being arrived, and the use of contour survey will be discussed. Preparation of layout as per regulations. So you should, and next thing is how to mark the center line from plan to ground. And last thing is design of all elements and preparation of drawing with report as per regulations. First we should understand the regulations. So when coming into layout or town planning, so what do you mean by a town planning is, it is an art and science of ordering the use of land. See, if we are constructing a house near a cement factory, so our building is located near a cement factory. So what will happen, due to the heating of limestone, in all cement industry the limestone will be heated and all ingredients, what will happen, there will be fumes, and in that fumes there will be contaminated particles. So those particles does need certain empty land in order to settle or in order to get into the topmost part of the environment. So if you are constructing adjacent to that structure, what will happen, due to that contamination the resident will get affected and he will be suffering. So what do you mean by town planning is, a certain part of land has to be given importance for industrial purpose only, and a certain part of a land has to be given importance for residential purpose only, and for all people need drinking water. So for supplying the drinking water, a certain part of land has to be essentially served for this drinking purpose. So like that, so all the people need recreational activity. So for that, a certain part of commercial plots has to be designed. So in order to make each and every aspect of a livelihood, the town planning is being done. So according to this guideline, if we are following the town planning guideline, we will be having a safe environment, not for us, for everyone who are staying in that area. And these are the things which I want to discuss with you. I have explained it. You can go through for further understanding. In this picture, you can see that the industries are separate and the residential community is separate, and the activities, recreational activities are given a certain place so that everyone will be benefited by this land. So, and the highway is designed not in the center part of the town, it will be constructed apart from the residential area. Okay, what is the use of town planning? If you follow the guideline as per town planning, we will be getting benefited, not I will be getting benefited, we will be getting benefited, and we will get a well balanced social and economic development, and the improvement of quality life is being achieved. So everybody will be having a safe and healthy environment, and responsible administration and resource and environmental protection. Say for example, in center of a city, so if the EB office and collector office, court, if everything is available at center of a city, so that each and every people no need to go to each and every part of this land for getting the help. So all the administrative activities, the government can have a particular area so that the people can go to that center heart of the city and can get all the services, so that the transportation for that area will be very much frequent. All the buses and railway stations will be connected for that. This kind of government oriented structure has to be located in the heart of the city so that everyone will get benefited. So the way of planning, the art of planning is being followed in the town planning. And rational use of land, each and every part of land has to be used judiciously. Yes. What do you mean by layout planning? Town planning is a broader aspect for whole district or for a whole zone. Town planning is considered. What do you mean by layout planning? Is layout is for a particular area, a small area, a street. Like that, layout planning is a smaller in scale. So you have to use the land for the efficient outcome. Here a picture is shown. Not only the land is being plotted, the land has to be plotted with the spacing between two houses. See, if we are selling all the land adjacent to each other, there will be no circulation of air between these two occupants. So this will harm the people, so that all the adjacent building will have a distance between the buildings, and there will be approachable road for all the plot. So you should make sure that all the plot does have a road, and in between the road you will be having a drainage facility and water supplying facility is required if there is a land which is provided by the government. So what are the purpose, what are the benefits, what are the requirement for the landowners? So they should construct, and after construction they need electricity. So a particular place has to be given for electric poles, and they need telecommunication. So a proper line in between the road and the house has to be given, primary for telephone lines and drainage, and you can see a manhole here. For inspection purpose you need a manhole, and each and everything is being designed in a layout. So we'll be getting easy road access, electricity access, water, sanitary, everything, and essential needs will be given for all the layout users. So while considering all the aspect, a layout has to be planned and located. Okay. Zone of land use and regulations is approved by the government of Karnataka, the Bangalore Development Authority, that is BDA. Here I will be discussing some of the salient points, that is how the government classified all the construction into this groups, that is residential area, commercial area, industrial area. So these are the three aspects, major three aspects: public and semi-public, traffic and transportation, public utilities, park and open spaces, unclassified and agricultural land. So nobody is allowed to construct a residential house in agricultural land. Why? Because these people need agricultural product in order to sustain their life. If they are keep on occupying agricultural area, we will be not having enough food supply. So, and if everybody is constructing houses in commercial places, what will happen? Everybody needs to get all the products from the foreign companies, so that certain parts has to be primarily made for commercial area. So like that, the government has planned for each and every sector. And in residential area, these are the other categories. So under residence, plotted residential development, villas and semi-detached houses, apartment, hotels and dharmashala, multi-dwelling houses, service apartment and group housing development plans. So in residential classification, further classes are given here. Okay. So while considering a layout, the government split the town planning into 4 areas, that is areas coming within core ring road. So this is heart of the city, where you will be having this is ring 1, and all the government activities, police stations, head of police station, head of fire station, all head offices will come under this core ring. And areas coming between core ring and outer ring, here you will be having residential area, commercial areas, and areas coming beyond outer ring road. So in Bangalore, Rajarajeshwari College is located beyond outer ring, within the permissible within local planning authority, that is LPA, that is ring 3. So this is the place where many colleges will be located, and the above the ring are equivalent to zone A, B, C for TDR purposes. So these are the categories of the land where they are using for town planning. And next thing regarding the layout is, if you are constructing width and depth of site, say for example this is width and depth of site. So this width and depth, if 6 meter width or depth of site is there, then 1 meter setback is required. And if the depth of the site is 6 meter, then 1 meter setback is required. That is, see, this is known as setback, that is in between two plots. So 1 meter and 1 meter setback is required if the length is 6 meter. If it is not more than 6 meter, then it is not required. So up to 6 to 9 meters, 1 meter on all the sides is required. On all 4 sides, the setback of building is required, and above 9 meter, 8% and 12% of land is required for setbacks. So these are the guidelines. While making the plot, you should be aware of this guideline and spaces for various building uses. So if you are constructing a middle school and in approach of that school 18-meter road width is 15-meter, in approach of that school 15-meter road width is essential and minimum size of plot should be 2000 square meter for all the structures. The guideline is given. So this, if you follow this minimum plot, then the amenities which are given by the plot, the owner will be efficiently used by the owner and public. So if you are building a service apartment, this much of road width is essential, that is 18-meter, and minimum size of plot should be 500 meter. For you can check this for the type of structure. And next thing, the important thing is all the plot which is having more than 240 square meter should have rainwater harvesting. While planning a layout, you should be placing a proper area for rainwater harvesting identification, and you should identify, and if it is located, then it will be useful for future purpose. And if you follow that, 5% rebate on tax is being offered by the government. And solar energy and solar water heating is recommended for all new development construction. And if you provide this, if the electricity is being supplied in this structure by solar energy, then 2% of the interest shall be returned. And tree planting, if you are planning for 2400 square feet land, and if you are purchasing that land, and if you are planning for a layout, minimum 2 trees for a site measuring more than 4000 square feet. So is mandatory. The trees shall be planted only in the rear setback area. So in that setback area, we can plant trees, and it is mandatory. And this is floor area ratio. So if a plot size is 360 square meter, maximum ground coverage, so up to 75% of this 360 could be used, that is 360 into 0.75 should be used, and minimum road width should be 12 meter. If your plot size is 360 to 1000, that is into 0.65, and the remaining 35% has to be ground clearance. So you cannot construct 100% covering area. Whatever might be the purpose of your construction, your plot should have a minimum ground coverage. So this is known as floor area ratio. And another point is, if the layout is planned, then parking for that plot. So according to your type of structure, the parking has to be given, and a certain area has to be provided for parking purposes. So you can check this out. So by this understanding, let us proceed with the survey of a land. So recognition survey and fixation of boundary is first one, and next thing is chain surveying has to be done for calculation of area of a closed traverse by using chain or tape. And second surveying is plane table traversing for getting the map of land for layout planning. And third thing is contour survey for block contour survey or block surveying, checking the difference in elevation between 2 points of total area. This will be done by dumpy level. Okay, so let us go into the first type, that is recognition survey for selection of site and conceptualization of project. So this is done by using chain and tape. Also GPS can be used. So this is our area. Proposed area is, see, the area is irregular. So you have to find the total area. By using GPS, you can approximately find the perimeter and area. So by conducting recognition survey, we came to know that from the starting point and covering all the perimeter of this area, we got approximate area. So after getting this, we can conduct a chain survey or a plane table survey in order to get a map of this area. So all the irregular points are being matched. So we are having a perimeter of around 253 meter. It may get varied when we are conducting the exact survey, and the total area is 3117 meter square. So by this preliminary survey, we came to know the approximate area. Now calculating the exact area by using the closed traverse, by using chain or tape. How to conduct that? We are having this area. What we have to do is, you have to choose the largest points between this area. So we found that this is the largest point. While viewing in the field, you will be getting the field points. So this is a guideline. So you can choose 2 points. This is a major line and these are all the minor lines. So you should conduct a chain survey between these 2 points, and all the points, perpendicular points, has to be joined, and all the irregularities has to be marked first, and all the irregular points will be marked P1, P2, P3. Like that it has to be marked, and up to P14. After that, a chain survey has to be conducted, and for all offsets the distance are calculated. So after finding the offset, you know the height and width. So by getting these 2 dimensions, you would be able to find this individual area. So if you want to find the area, total gross area, all the areas has to be calculated, A1 plus A2 up to A13. If you add that, you will get the area of this land. So next type of surveying is plane table survey. So this is conducted to get the map of this layout. So you can go for a plane table traversing. We already located the points by using arrows or pegs. So for each and every point, you can shift the plane table and draw the map. So a close traversing can be followed if the area cannot be occupied in the outer side. You can place the plane table inside, and you can go for radiation type of plane table survey, and according to the type of ground you can choose your type of plane table survey. Okay, then third type of survey is contour survey, and in this what you should do is, you should take the benchmark as Muktinaga temple, and a temporary benchmark has to be located somewhere around this place, and you should locate your instrument in such a way that all the areas is being covered, and block contouring survey is to be conducted. What do you mean by block contouring survey is, you already know all the points, all the end points or all the irregular point. What you have to do is, you have to stretch a straight line, and it has to be evenly distributed by sub intervals. So this intervals has to be equal in distance and a perpendicular line has to be drawn by using the offsets. So perpendicular offset has to be drawn by the major line. So all the lines are has to be connected, and in widthwise also the same distance has to be followed. So if you locate all the points, you will be getting a blocks. So this is known as block contouring. So how will you contour this? You have to take observation by using dumpy level at each and every point. Take this as B1, B2, B3, B4, like that all the points has to be marked. So you have to take the reading backside as temporary benchmark and intermediate site as the remaining points, and you should end at foresight. All the points has to be marked by the dumpy level and leveling staff has to be taken to all the points. So after getting that, you will be getting RL of each and every point. So getting that RL of this point, you should take the A1 graph sheet and you should scale your area, and in that A1 graph sheet you should mark the points and plot the RL. After getting that RL, you can make the contour for each and every interval, so that you will be knowing that the altitude of this particular area. So what is the use of finding this? So after finding this, you will be knowing that which is the low level area and which is high level. Say for example, if this is lower level, you have to supply the water from the top level. Water supply and sanitary facilities has to be start from here. The main line has to be here, so that if the sewage waste are left here, it will automatically drain towards the next point. So no need of pumping. So that this contour is very much useful for plotting the other accessories. So you can go through this point in order to proceed the survey, and the readings has to be taken like this, and you can check by using backside minus foresight equal to RL of last point minus first point for checking purposes. And for calculation for each and every point, to find RL and to find height of instrument, you can use this formula. And after that, plotting in this A1 graph sheet, you will be getting a contour like this. So by getting this contour line, these are the points you are having RL. So 98.8 is an RL. So if you have provided 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. If you have provided 7 points, you will be getting 7 RL. 7 into 6, that is 42 points. So for all the 42 points, you will be drawing RL. So then you will be connecting all the same RL. So if it is 100, 100 has to be connected between all the points. So this is known as contour map. So after getting that map, we can provide all the remaining things. That the dumpy level has to be suitably placed, so that maximum point has to be covered, and these things I have discussed with you. And after that, you can, after surveying, you have to do a site analysis. If you are arranging your site into 9 into 15 meter site, and if you are making your site into 12 into 9 meter site, what is the regular size and how much is the odd, and how many corners are available and how many corner area is there, and this is the total area. So how many area is being efficiently used, how much area is being efficiently used can be identified by this site analysis. And the use of land analysis, what is the residential area which is in percentage of this total area, and how much park area you are providing for that layout, and what is the road area and STP, everything is being percentage for analysis. So this is a model which is showing a layout which is being made. You can see that this is an irregular area and some parts is being left for future extension and certain plots is being made. See that this is a 12 by 6. This can be 12 by 6 site and this can be 12 by 6 site. So according to the irregularity, the site is being evenly distributed and is being efficiently used. Note that all the site has the road and all the facilities will be given along this road, and this is a model of layout guideline from the government. I hope you got some valuable points and the thank you.